Smoking is a habit that burns up good health. Was anyone unaware of this? I didn't think so. Growing up in the 90s, we were pounded by anti-tobacco rhetoric that left many of us convinced that after one cigarette we would be left with a lifetime of addiction and despair. Yet many of our generation still choose to light up. To understand the current situation of tobacco use, it's important to understand its history. The industry currently known as Big Tobacco earned its reputation at the beginning of the 20th century. Barbara Hahn, author of Making Tobacco Bright, edited in 2011, made an excellent description of the early tobacco industry with the words, "At this time, cigarettes seemed modern, and tobacco companies stood at the cutting edge of business practices." By the early 1940s and 50s, cigarette smoking basically rivaled baseball as America's national pastime. Marketing by tobacco companies was at an all-time high. In the 2001 book, Regulating Tobacco, Robert Robin and Steven Sugarman described these times as, on the motion picture screens, cigarettes were smoked by the sophisticated, the glamorous, war heroes, and even President Roosevelt. It wasn't until 1964 that a predominant public figure stood up to the negative health effects of smoking. In a National Institute of Health survey published in the 2001 book, The Tobacco Industry, Wheezing or Breezing, written by Argus Thompson, in 1964, 50% of adult males and 46% of Americans smoked cigarettes. On January 11, 1964, Surgeon General Luther Terry spoke out about the health effects of smoking in his report, Smoking and Health, noting that the habit led to lung cancer, heart disease, and emphysema. Tobacco lobbies responded to this statement by noting that tobacco science was uncertain and they would maintain this position for the next 25 years. Today, current tobacco policies revolve around children. In a 1994 Department of Health and Human Sciences survey published in the book Regulating Tobacco, 90% of smokers had their first cigarette before the age of 18 years old. Since 2004, radical measures have been taken to curb smoking, specifically youth smoking. According to Robert Robin and Steven Sugarman, authors of the 2001 book Regulating Tobacco, two particular anti-smoking measures have stood out since 1994. The use of disinformation tactics have been used as an effort to filter out imagery that makes smoking appear pleasurable, and the use of counter incentives have been used to display hard facts about the health risks of smoking, which we've seen in the past couple of years in these new commercials. Given this effort, why would people still choose to smoke? Well, to answer that, we need to look at the current situation as well. Smoking cigarettes is now regarded as more taboo than ever. Regulation efforts have turned what once was a cheap commodity into a forbidden fruit. Perhaps the current situation of smoking is an act of defiance and rebellion, which in that case will be around for a while. Thank you.